Social service organizations have a long history of working together with our communities to help people. We usually think of things like donation drives, food pantries, or volunteer events, which are all important. But these help one person, one family at a time. We know that many people find themselves facing troubles because of bigger issues. Those issues are often a result of policies that create unjust circumstances that leave people unable to meet their needs. These bigger issues must be addressed through advocacy. We must come together to raise our voices on behalf of disenfranchised and underserved people in Arizona. It is our hope that you will join us, because policy matters.
I am one of 5 generations of social justice and advocacy-focused family members. We didn't have any special training or knowledge. We just cared deeply about our community, social change, and making the world a better place for all. You can do this as well. More than 50 years ago, a Canvas church women's group wrote letters to legislators about their concern for mothers with nutritionally at-risk babies. Others soon joined, and their efforts led to the enactment of the National Women, Infants, and Children program known as WIC, a program that today serves 50% of Arizona women and children. This is just one example of the impact of regular people who use their voice to do something. There are many more stories like this one. Whether it's providing nutrition for pregnant women and infants, hot breakfast and lunch for at-risk school children, addressing affordable housing needs for seniors or veterans, or supporting the resettlement of fully vetted refugee families, advocacy changes policy. Advocacy is not something hard or scary. It's simply communicating with policymakers who are elected to represent us, their constituents. The word advocacy can sometimes be perceived as something scary or political that requires a certain skill set or talent or a specific task, like protesting at the Capitol, creating a policy, becoming a lobbyist, or running a political campaign. The reality is that advocacy is just about educating people while building relationships and community in the interest of the common good. The truth is that many of us are already advocates in our daily lives, helping individuals and families around us and speaking out on behalf of others. Many of us already have a heart for advocacy, which is crucially important when learning how to advocate on a larger or political scale. And if you think that getting involved at a deeper level means that you'll have to get enmeshed in the often tumultuous and polarized rhetoric of politics, there is good news for you. You don't, and you shouldn't. There are many ways that you and organizations you are part of can focus on the issues of social justice and education. It is important to note that helping those experiencing struggles means that we have the courage to speak out on their behalf. We can do this by remaining focused on the needs and stories of individuals. There are a number of ways that you, your family, friends, and social groups can get involved. You could do one, several, or many of these and make a big difference. You may find you really love it and want to get more engaged, maybe even run for office yourself. You can educate your social groups, organizations, family, and friends about social justice issues in your community. What are the root causes and consequences of these issues? What policies, rules, or laws are helping or hurting members of your community? Lots of organizations have email distribution lists that you can subscribe to and learn more about the problems and concerns locally, statewide, and nationally. They can help you understand the issues and express your support or opposition to policies and legislation that are being considered. And they will often provide you with a template for letter or email writing. Find out who your local, state, and national elected officials are and start building a relationship with them. Reach out and like them on their social media accounts. Email them regularly about your concerns. Invite them to attend events in your congregation or community. Identify 3 or 4 people who can go to the state or national capital to meet with your representatives and senators. Your job is not to lobby, but rather to educate them on issues that should be important to them. Invite policymakers or their staff to meet with your social justice committee or community group. Tour your food pantry or other social service organizations that you are a part of and hear about the concerns that are being brought up. We all know that charities and social service organizations cannot solve all of the problems facing our communities. But in conjunction with legislators changing laws and policies and creating funding to support those who are struggling with employment, housing, food insecurity, access to health care, and so much more, we can truly make a difference. Your elected officials should represent your community, regardless of their or your political affiliation. But they can't know all of the issues because they're just folks like us. You have the knowledge about social issues and can help them understand what needs to change to improve your community. Educate your community, family, and friends about elections and the importance of voting. You will find many organizations that would be happy to do a presentation for you to help you engage more in civic participation. One of the best times to build a relationship with elected officials is while they're campaigning for office. Volunteer to walk neighborhoods with them, put a yard sign in your front yard, or make phone calls for them. Before we can begin our advocacy journey, we need to remember our basic civics education. Or Schoolhouse Rock, I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill. Local, state, and federal elected officials work similarly to one another, but deal with different issues. For instance, refugee and asylum seeker policy is a federal issue that cannot be solved on a state level. Lack of affordable housing, living wage jobs are a local or state issue that could be addressed with additional state funding to support programs to help those in need. At the national level, we elect and often advocate with congressional members, the House of Representatives and the Senate. In Arizona, we have 9 congressional districts, and just like all states, have 2 senators. Representatives are elected for 2-year terms. Senators are elected for 6-year terms. Representatives should represent all of the constituents in their district, while senators serve the entire state. Both should serve the best interest of the people of Arizona, regardless of political party, and can help with federal issues like Social Security or passports or other issues related to federal law or agencies. The number of congressional districts that we have is determined every 10 years following the census. An undercount of the census can result in the loss of congressional representatives because there is a limit of 435 total representatives for the U.S. State and local governments function very similarly to the federal level. We have 30 legislative districts in Arizona with 2 state representatives and 1 state senator who are elected every 2 years. So there are 60 representatives and 30 state senators working on state-level issues, laws, policies, and rules. You'll notice that so far, everyone in Arizona gets 6 elected officials, 3 in Congress on the national level and 3 at the state level in Arizona. And then we have policymakers at the local level. At the local level, there are even more elected officials for each county, city, school district, commissions, and so on. And all of these positions also exist to represent the best interest of the local people. The most important piece to remember when engaging in this work is relationship building. Elected officials are more likely to listen to your needs and opinions when they've gotten to know you and understand the stories that you are bringing them. Simply introducing yourselves to them and getting to know them is the first step. This can be done in person, via email or social media, or through letters. Also, contrary to popular belief, elected officials are not experts at everything. You have a unique opportunity to educate them about important issues and to hopefully impact how they vote. Elected officials are people with jobs and families, just like you and me. And just like us, they know about the things that they have experienced. But if no one in their family or workplace has struggled with the issues that we know many people have, they don't have a context for understanding what needs to change to improve the lives of all Arizonans. Never hesitate to tell them what is important to you and to stay in touch with them regularly about issues that matter to you. Elected officials have a genuine interest in knowing you and any constituents because that's how they know what is important to their constituents. You and your elected official may not see eye to eye on everything, but look for commonalities. If we look hard enough, we can always find common ground, even with those we disagree with on most issues. The desire to feel safe, to feel heard, and to have a say in our quality of life is shared amongst all of us and can be the springboard for conversations on tough topics. Finally, it is very important to express your gratitude for their service. They have a difficult job, and showing our appreciation for their willingness to take on the challenge can help build trust.
As you can see, advocacy is a crucial service and a catalyst for change. But this part of the work extends beyond the capacity of social service organizations and faith and civic groups. We need those who have a heart for helping others, for fighting inequity and injustice, for being a voice for the voiceless, for standing up for the unheard and the vulnerable. We need you. You already have the spirit of advocacy alive in your life. We invite you to use that spirit to show up in the world the best way you can. What you have to offer is important. Your voice is unique and it is vital. You have the power in your hands to create the catalyst for change. Together, we can create an impact, share our voices, and make a difference in the world. Will you answer the call?